It is the mandate of every individual believer to share Christ, to share Him in any way they can, to anyone who will listen, from the front step to the farthest point on the globe. Whether it's feeding the hungry, clothing the poor, housing the homeless, laughing with the joyful, crying with the sorrowful, helping the hurt, or preaching the gospel. All these things are part of missions, working together, showing others what you believe. No matter if you work for the church or sit in the back row, all are called to be missionaries.
Vision Ministries of America has been operating now for around 20 years, and we first started going into Mexico, taking groups and going and building churches. To this date, we've accomplished 48 churches, a seminary, 2 medical clinics, and behind Hurricane Emily, we built 12 homes for the people.
After leaving Mexico for safety reasons, Vision Ministries went on a journey through the Navajo Nation. They went through all 4 states that the Navajo Nation covers, asking what needs the people had.
The greatest cry that we saw out of the Navajos of just absolute need was the need for housing. One evening I was sitting at the house, and it was just like God spoke to me, and He said, "Mike, you've got some lumber up in the barn. I want you to go up, and I want you to cut those pieces, and I want you to make an octagon." And so I went up, I cut the pieces, and I laid them together. They were 12 foot long, and I didn't think if you put 8 12-foot pieces together at an angle and made an octagon, it'd be very big. But actually it makes 695 square feet.
The Hogan has more square footage than your average rectangle home with the same dimensions. From side to side is almost 30 feet. That is a very wide span. Trying to put a rafter system in with no load-bearing wall is very complicated.
The Hogan was already invented. It's just that we made it in a way that it could be duplicated and copied over and over and over again.
There's over 1,700 homes that are needed out there. And so that's a big undertaking. It's like, that's maybe too big. One church can't do that all. They can only do a piece. So other churches can help, and they only have to do a little bit. If you get 1,700 churches to do one Hogan, one home, you've got 1,700 homes, and there's 1,700 churches in this country.
What we would do is take that concept to that church and to that pastor, and we'd say, we've got a great mission opportunity, but we don't want you just to build a house. We want you to meet some basic needs, take some food with you, take some clothing with you, but go and do a VBS, really work with the kids. And by the way, when you work with the kids, you're going to have to provide lunch and really focus on them. If we find a church in the area that we work with, first of all, we elevate their status in the community. People begin to notice them. They begin to say, well, this church really cares. The other thing is the church also gets to be the recipient, and they get to help us find the families that are in need. We can bring in some medical attention. We can bring in food and clothing and serve that whole community.
This mission was to, in my mind, was to provide a home and show them that there is Christians out there that care about them.
And we have to remember, a lot of churches there can't do a lot because they don't have the resources. So what we're doing is providing them with the resources to minister to their own people. I think if people commit to going and helping build a Hogan, participating in a VBS, and ministering in the community. The thing they're going to get out of this personally is just a sense of being obedient to God and obeying the Lord. I think it really touches their heart, and in the long run, they become a more compassionate and a more humble person. And I think that's a wonderful spirit to have. We don't go out there and tell them we're this wonderful, great person or all of this. We just tell them, I'm Mike, and I'm here to serve the Lord. What can I do to help you? And I think if we all develop that attitude, God's going to enrich our life so much more than before we ever made the trip.